And what I've learned, one of the things I know for a fact, and there's not that many things I know for sure, and the one thing I do know for sure is people are only going to do what they choose to do. So my goal is less about telling people what to do these days and more about trying to get them to do what they know they should be doing anyway. So if you're watching this, and I guess if you're on this call or on this webinar, you're probably already doing a lot of the things I'm about to talk about. It seems to be the way that the people that need it most are the ones that will find a reason not to be here. I hope that you get something out of this, even one thing. I hope that if there are some things you want to change, you're ready for change, and I hope you're ready to get started, because I think the key, I've got a message, I'm going to give you some ideas, I'm going to give you some stuff, but this stuff means nothing unless you act on it. And so I really want to encourage you to take action from what I talk about today, if living your best life is a goal of yours. And what I've put in the screen there, you can see living your best life requires optimal well-being. And I think a lot of people compromise their physical health and well-being and emotional health and well-being, and they don't yet connect it to the things that are most important. For example, relationships, for example, your career, for example, the things that you want to do in life, the people you want to be with in life, the things you want to achieve, the impact you want to have. Everything that's important sits on a foundation of well-being. And a big mistake people make is they think they have a choice whether I go to the gym or exercise or eat well. I will if I'm not too stressed or busy, but if I am, then I can't prioritize that. Well, my belief is well-being is not something you prioritize, it's something you just do. And because everything that's most important to you rests on this foundation. So what I want to do is, first thing I want to do is introduce you to a man that I met probably about 3-4 years ago, and his name's Paul. And Paul goes to the church I go to, and Paul was not a healthy man at all. Paul, as you can see in the pictures, he was sitting on around 125 kilos. He was very overweight. He was on medication, blood pressure medication, cholesterol medication. He was on the verge of stroke. He found it very difficult to get up off the ground. He found it very difficult to do anything. He actually approached me one day because he knew what I did. He knew that I'd helped some other people, and he said, "Can you help me?" And I looked at him, and I'd known a little bit about Paul's journey, and I knew that he'd tried things. He'd joined gyms, he's lost a bit of weight here, he put it on, tried things that he never stuck to. So I asked him the question. I said, "Paul, why?" I said, "Why is it going to be different this time? I can help you, but I can't help you unless you're ready to be helped." So I asked him, "Why is it important for you to create this change?" He looked at me and he didn't say a word, and he didn't need to say a word. I knew he was ready, because tears started welling up in his eyes and a lump in his throat. And he started to talk to me about his grandkids and his kids. You know, and you can see in one of those pictures there is 2 grandkids, and he said, whilst he could sit and read to them, he couldn't play with them because he couldn't get up, he couldn't run after them, he couldn't do anything. And he said they'd even stopped asking him to play because they knew that he couldn't. And he said, and I could tell at that moment he was ready for change. So he did everything that I'm about to go through with you today, and the end result of that was around 6 months later. So this is 2018, I think. So around May in 2018. That's the end of the year 2018, that picture on the right where he's standing in front of that spit. Now, why that's significant is the amount of meat sitting on that spit there is less than the amount of weight that he lost. So he lost around 35 kilos. That's 30 kilos of meat, which is mind-blowing when you look at it. But that's honestly, he lost weight. Yes, great, awesome, amazing. But that's not the most important message here. The most important message is his doctors now he was on medication that he was told he would be on forever, right? He's now off that medication. He can now play with his grandkids. This is now 3 years later, and he's still maintained it. He's got a life. He can walk, he can run, he can do things, he can play. He is totally a transformed man. But it all came down to this is why. So I'm gonna just say the first thing before I talk any more about anything, because everything I tell you is going to make sense. Everything I say to you, possibly you've heard before. What is going to make the difference for you is not me. What's going to make the difference for you is what's important for you. Okay, so as you're sitting there watching this, if you've got a pen and paper, what I'd love you to do is write down what would be one thing, a person, people, something that's so important to you, something that's so meaningful for you that you require optimal well-being to achieve it. What is that thing that's going to get you off the couch, off your excuse, and get you moving? Okay, because honestly, if there's not something powerful motivator enough, then this is going to be maybe an informative talk, but that's about it. I don't want this just to be informative or even engaging. I want this to be empowering. Empowering means move you into action. Okay, because here's the deal. And again, I'm probably preaching to the converted, and if you're here, you obviously value your health or you really want to do something about it. But the bottom line is many people are delusional about your health. You probably know people. And this was a survey done when asked to rate their well-being. 4 out of 5 people said that their health, their well-being was excellent, very good, or good. Now that's 80% of people rated themselves good or better in terms of their health and well-being. Well, let's have a look at some statistics that I got last year that say that, and I know these statistics have changed already in the last 12 months, but 12 months ago, 67%, 67, so that sort of flies already in the face of 80% of people that say they're good, very good, or excellent. 67% of adults and 25% children are obese or overweight. Around 45% of Australians aged 16 to 85 will experience a mental illness in their life. And again, I probably think over the last 12 months, that percentage has increased. And the most alarming one of all is this bottom one. Projection by 2025, now that's only 4 years away now, 80% of adult Australians are going to be overweight or obese. 80%. Wow, that's a little bit different to the 80% of people that said they're very good, good, or excellent. So the question is for you. Again, this is not about anyone else. This is about you watching this today. How would you rate your health and well-being honestly? And if you continue to do what you're currently doing, where's it going to be in the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years? If your nutritional choices, if your thinking choices, if your movement choices are as they currently are, be honest with yourself, because there's a lot of sick people who kidded themselves. They were delusional. Please be aware. That's the most important message I want to share. So today we're talking about optimal well-being. So there's 3 parts to this. The why, that's your bit. I can't help you with that. All I can do is give you ideas and things that might prompt it, but you've got to provide the motivation. I cannot do that for you. What and how? Well, that's what we're going to talk about today. And then taking action. Well, that's your bit, but I'm here to help if you want help. Okay, so that can be a team thing, which I love, that you're not in this alone. You've got to find your motivation, but the rest, there is help to do that. So I'm going to go through 10 optimal well-being essentials. Okay, 10 things, and I'm going to cover them pretty quick, briefly. So if you have questions, you can either ask them as we go, or you can ask them at the end. Actually, before I do this, before I start, I'm going to go back one. Apologies. Ida, can you do that first question, that polling question? If people could just take the time. Again, this is just following in from the why part of the why. Who or what makes prioritizing your well-being important? So what is it that's going to get you moving? Is it family or a family member? Is it just wanting to feel more successful? Do you want to feel better about yourself? Do you want to get more out of life? If you could just pick one of those. I'm going to pick get more out of life, and I'm going to submit that. So I'd love, Ida, when you get the results from that, I'd love to, if you could just sort of share, that would be awesome. Okay, so moving on. Thank you if you completed that. Okay, there we go. Feel better about yourself. There's 56%. That's wonderful. Family, 22%. Getting more out of life is 44%. Awesome. Thank you for doing that. So we want to feel better. It looks like the primary thing is feeling better about yourself. And let me tell you, one of the things that, so I want you to relate everything I talk about, whatever you answered there, This is all about that thing, okay? It's got nothing to do with anything. It's got nothing to do with me. It's got to do with, is it, now if you answered family, I want you to relate this to your family. If you said feeling better about yourself, I want to relate this to how you feel about yourself. If you want to get more out of life, I want you to relate everything I talk about to getting more out of life. And the first thing is finding your purpose, okay? And again, this is just follow on from really what we're speaking about. I believe we're all here for a reason. I believe every single person is on this planet for a purpose. And once you find that purpose, then making better choices is easy. There's a couple of things that happen when you feel like you're on purpose. Number one, you wake up excited about a new day, and a new day where you know you've got direction, so you feel in control. I think a lot of people at the moment are out of control. They just haven't necessarily found their purpose. Now that purpose may be a face, that purpose could be a person. I talk in my book Dance Until It Rains about my mother, who's my hero. She passed away probably 16 years ago now, from after a 15-year journey with cancer. And the reason she survived 15 years longer than was suggested was she found her purpose, and that was her children, her family, and she wanted to be around. And all of a sudden, she stopped negotiating the price. The change she made, the things she did, her level of happiness, her level of calm and peace improved. Everything changed because she found her purpose. Now, purpose may be people. Purpose may be for you, if you've ever had to overcome something and you want to help other people, if you've ever had to lose a lot of weight and now you want to help people, that might be your purpose. Or you've ever overcome some sort of trauma or abuse, that might be your thing. Find that purpose. You're on this planet for a reason, and I guarantee you, when you find it, everything's easy. I guarantee you, it's my purpose is to do what I'm doing right now, is to inspire and help people live their best life. And I love it. Every day I'm looking for more opportunities to do it. Every day I'm speaking to more people. Every day I'm connecting with the total vision of helping people and creating this wave of wellness around the world. When you find your purpose, that's the key, the foundation to optimal well-being. So that's your first one. The second one is this: mindset. Well-being is 100% mindset. Now, why do I say 100%? That sounds weird, isn't it? Nutrition, isn't it exercise? Isn't it sleep? Isn't it all those things? Yes, it is all of those things. However, we do not do anything that we don't first think about. We don't make any choice or take any action that we don't first formulate in our mind. Now, in our mind, we get a thought, or you might look at a situation and you have a perception of that situation, which creates an emotion in your body. Now, emotion, and I spoke about this the last time we spoke, emotion will either enhance your physical well-being or will damage it significantly. So when you're grateful and happy and excited and empowered, you're going to be stronger. But when you're anxious or angry or frustrated or depressed, that's going to have this, and you hold on to those emotions, that's going to have a real impact. Now, emotion is the result of our mindset, what we focus on. So I really want you to start thinking about, where are you focused? Where does your mind take you? And the best indicator of your mindset is your emotional state, because your emotions, when you feel an emotion in your body, that's your body talking to you. It's saying, hey, something's happening in your mind. You either want to hold on to or you want to change. Now, if you're feeling excited, grateful, empowered, keep going. If you're feeling anxious or angry or stressed, then you need to just go, okay, where's my mind taking me, and what am I thinking about that's leading me to this emotion? So I'm going to give you a few ideas of how do you program your mind. Mindset is a wonderful word, because what it means is this: it's set. Your mind has set you in a direction. Fixed. Set means fixed. So your current mindset is moving you in a direction, okay? And if you want to go in that direction, don't change anything. But if you're heading in a path you don't want to go with your health and well-being, you need to change. You need to reset. And how do you reset? You make sure you potentially change who you're associating with, who you're hanging around. Are they encouraging? Are they uplifting? Are they supporting you to be the best you can be? And if they're negative or critical, hey, you want to spend minimal time with those people. You all know what I'm talking about, right? What are you watching on TV? And if you're sitting in front of the news trying to get all the updates on the coronavirus and all the negative stuff that's happening around the world, it's going to have a negative impact on your mindset. It's going to create fear and anxiety. That's one of the reasons why there's so many mental health issues at the moment. People are focusing on the things they can't control. Start to watch stuff that will empower you and engage you. What are you reading? If you're reading newspapers and negative stuff, it's going to have an impact. Your brain is a filter that will filter everything that goes through it and hold on to stuff. If you read positive, uplifting, empowering, inspiring books, one of the reasons why I decided to become an author is because I knew reading would have the most positive and powerful impact on how we think, how we feel, what we do, and the results we get in life. What are you listening to? And the fact you're sitting here listening to this webinar is testament to me that you are wanting to be better. So I want to encourage you to continue to do that. There's some great podcasts. I actually have a podcast called the Wellness Puzzle Podcast, which has been going. I started it during COVID, and I'm so grateful for COVID because I had the time and energy and inspiration to do it. And now it's been going almost 12 months and it's getting some wonderful results. So that's called the Wellness Puzzle Podcast. Have a listen to that. There's so many amazing podcasts and audios and things to listen to help keep a positive mindset that's moving you in the direction you want to go. Okay. Optimal wellbeing essential number 3 is community. Okay, success is about belonging, and we all know this. One of the things that's been taken from us in this time of COVID is, well, it hasn't been taken from us, it's just changed, hasn't it? Community, being a part of something, feeling like you're supported and loved and connected. And if you're feeling isolated, find a community that supports and encourages you to be the best you can be is very much a key essential to optimal well-being, because that feeling of belonging gives us peace and gives us comfort and gives us confidence and gives us security. Very important. All of those first 3 essentials, you'll notice, are very, I don't know, you could call them ethereal, or they're a bit intangible. They're all around how we think and feel, because our thoughts and our feelings are the things that will determine our actions. So that's where we really need to start. Okay, let's get into some more sort of functional stuff. Optimal well-being essential number 4, you need to put good quality food in your gut, in your body, correct? Is there anyone that doesn't know this? There are 5 colors of fruits and vegetables. You can see them on the screen. Yum. When you see a picture with fruits and vegetables, all the spectrum of colors, isn't it a beautiful sight? You've got your purples and your oranges and your yellows and your reds and your greens and your whites. And you need to, for optimal well-being, represent each one of the 5 colors every single day. So if you're in front of your computer, I'd love in the chat section, where are we? We're sort of at lunchtime now. Well, no, we're not. We're 11 o'clock. I'd love to know how many different colors you've already consumed today. Think about them. And I'm not talking about bread, and I'm not talking about protein. I'm talking about fruits or vegetables. What have you eaten already today? Have you put some fruit on your breakfast? Have you had a snack with some fruit? Have you had, something with some carrot? Or, have a think about how in every single day you can get all 5 colors onto your plate, into your sandwich, into your salad, into your stir fry. Why? Because each color holds a different spectrum of nutrients, and we need all of them. Now, I'm going to just say this, just as an adjunct to this one, is, yes, we need to eat real fruit and vegetables. There's no substitute for that. However, eating enough of the right fruits and veggies to ensure we get everything we need can be challenging. And the second thing is making sure that those fruit and vegetables we eat have the nutrients. That's also challenging. Interestingly, Heart Foundation says that only 5.1% of Australian adults have an adequate usual daily intake of fruit and vegetables. And that's now, whatever that is, I think, what do they say? 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to 10 serves a day of fruits. I'm not sure what it is now. But you may even be having those serves, but the question is, what's the source of those fruits and vegetables? Where are they grown? What was in the soil? Have they been treated? Have they been sprayed? Have they been pesticides? How many nutrients are in them? So it is very difficult here to get all the nutrients for. Now, I'm talking about optimal well-being here. I'm not just talking about surviving. I'm talking about optimal, living your very, very best life. To get everything you need, not only do you need to eat the fruit and veggies, but I very much believe you need to supplement with a organic, plant-based food supplement to get multivitamins and different things that you need. And I'll touch on a little bit more about this as we go, but I really want to recommend, if you're not already supplementing with a quality supplement, and if you're unsure, I'm happy to help you with that. But I think that's very essential to make sure your body's got all of those nutrients it needs for optimal well-being. Okay, optimal well-being essential number 5, managing stress. Okay, well, we can't avoid it. We can't avoid relationship stress. We certainly, well, we can avoid that sort of stress. You know, financial stress happens. Pollution's out there, you know, and one of the great things about lockdown, there's less pollution, right? There's less cars on the road, but it's still out there. You know, we're not going to get rid of our mobile phone. That's creating some stress on our body. The water that you're drinking may be, depending on where it's coming from. You know, there's work stress. You know, the stuff they spray on the foods that we consume is creating stress, and all these things create free radicals. And what are free radicals? They are little particles. I'm not going to go into detail here. That are the byproduct of the body's process to get rid of toxins. Are free radicals, and they can attack the body. They can create all sorts of damage. How do you neutralize free radicals? Well, the first 3 essentials, number 1 is find your purpose, number 2 is focus on your mindset, number 3 is find your community. They're going to help with stress, certainly the mental and emotional stress you're dealing with. The other thing we need to do is eat. You know, go back to essential number 4, which is eat all of the nutrients, supplement, get enough nutrients so that your body has antioxidants to neutralize free radicals. The other byproduct of stress is cortisol, and cortisol is a stress hormone, which when your body's stressed, your body releases cortisol, which is a fight or flight hormone, and cortisol will increase your blood sugar levels, increase your blood pressure, and will actually cause fat deposit around your stomach. So you don't want a lot of cortisol in your body. So how do you regulate cortisol? Same thing, you know, eating well, focusing on things that are important to you. You know, there's a lot of meditation and mindfulness practices you can focus on. There's also a herb which is called rhodiola. It's rhodiola. Rhodiola is an adaptogenic herb which regulates cortisol in the body. So there's some wonderful nutritional solutions that help manage or help you deal with the impact of stress on the body. But the first and foremost thing is mindset is the key. Mindfulness, mindset, focusing on what's important to you. Optimal well-being essential number 6 is water. Now, water is very key, and I think I'm not going to spend time on why you need to drink water, but why pure water? Well, let me tell you this. One of the most important reasons why you drink water is to flush toxins out of your body. That's what it does. Water flushes your body. Now, if you're drinking a lot of tap water, let me tell you, if you're not sure, there's a lot of rubbish in our tap water. And there's a lot of rubbish in our tap water that you don't want in your body, because if you're trying to use water to flush toxins and you're drinking tap water, I mean, you can have a look at those filters there. The one on the right is tap water. That's what's in our tap water. That's out of my tap. So I'm very glad that that gunk is in the filter and not in my body. Yeah. So to me, the most effective way to get good quality water and the most cost-effective way is not to go out and buy bottles of water, because that's expensive and there's no regulation on bottled water, is to go and get yourself a very high quality water purifier. That's going to be the best value option and give you the ability to put pure water into your body. So you hydrate, so it helps your body do all the things it needs to do, but it also helps flush toxins out of your body. Okay, we're doing well. Wow, I'm flying through this. Okay, optimal well-being essential number 7, and that's looking after your cells. Your body is made up of trillions, not billions. I'm talking trillions of cells. so many cells. That's what all we are, is just a bunch of cells. If you were to look at us under a microscope, we're all these little things bouncing around. That's what we are. And each cell looks a little bit like this diagram. It's obviously very simplified. And so if I go through the simplicity of this diagram, every cell has a nucleus, which is the brain of the cell. It has mitochondria. That's where all the activity happens, the chemical reactions happening, where energy is burnt, created, where fat is burnt, where food is metabolized, and nutrients are then dispersed to other places in the body that it needs to go. The most important part of the cell is the membrane. Now, you'll see here, 75% fat, and a healthy membrane has some saturated fat, has some cholesterol, but primarily is made up of the right balance of these essential fats, omega-6 and omega-3. Now, this is a healthy cell. When you eat all your healthy foods and you supplement, those nutrients that are in your bloodstream get transported, they get absorbed through your cell membrane. And the reason why fat is so important is because fat keeps the membrane soft enough to allow nutrients to pass across it, but strong enough to protect the cell. So that this semi-permeable cell membrane is very important, because it allows nutrients to go in and waste products to go out. Okay, now keep in mind that your cell membrane is the most important part of the cell. So what happens if we make poor choices with our eating? We clog up and harden our cell membrane. Okay, because if we eat too much processed foods, which are very high in trans fat, which hardens. If we eat too much carbohydrate, breads, rice, pastas, that's very high in omega-6 fat, which causes inflammation. Okay, and the more fats we consume, they will determine the health of our membrane. Now, if we have an inflamed and hardened cell membrane because I eat too much bread, pasta, rice, too much processed food, and my cell now are taking on all that fat, then now can you see what happens? Nutrients can't get through. Okay, can't get in. Therefore, the cell remains malnourished, which means you're likely to crave. So if anyone ever craves, part of the reason is because maybe your cells are not metabolizing. If you crave, you're more likely to have sugar or sweet foods or things that you know are not the best, but you can't help yourself, right? Like, you know, you've got to have it. And this is the problem. The more and more of those foods we eat when we crave, that's going to lead to some serious issues long term, as you may be experienced, or you certainly know people that are experiencing sugar cravings and a whole range of things that happen there. So the question is, how do we then bring our cell membrane back from this back to this? Simple. We need to, you can see over here, what in a modern day diet, our ratio of omega-6 to omega-3. Now, keeping in mind omega-6 causes inflammation, but omega-3 reduces inflammation, okay? So omega-6 is plant-based, omega-3 is primarily deep sea cold water fatty fish. There's some natural plant sources of omega-3 as well, but we need to get that ratio back to closer to 1:1, and that's not easy. It's not easy because, you know, if you eat fish, you might eat fish once a week. Honestly, if we need to eat as much fish as we needed to get that cell membrane back, you'd be eating fish every day, maybe more than once a day. Some people don't eat fish, they're a vegetarian, so how do they do it? So it's important that not only are you increasing your omega-3 intake, you're reducing your omega-6, again, processed carbohydrates, just remove them, not remove them, reduce them. And I would, at this point, I would very much suggest an omega-3 supplement, whether it's a fish oil supplement, if you're okay with that. There's plenty of vegetarian or vegan omega-3 supplements out there, but we need to, if you're going to get that cell working again and get the energy up, get your body burning fat, feeling better, you need to get your cell membrane healthy again. The health of your body depends on the health of your cells. And cells multiply. You know, that's what happens in our lives. Our cells multiply all the time. So if you've got an unhealthy cell and it multiplies, you're now duplicating unhealthy cells, which is going to lead to sickness. Okay, if you've got healthy cells because you've got a healthy cell membrane and because you're feeding your body with lots of the right nutrients, you're multiplying healthy cells. You are getting healthy and feeling amazing and lean and fit and looking good. You know, isn't that what we want? If feeling better about yourself is the goal, look after your cells, and I guarantee you everything will change for you. Health essential number 8 is eating. Sounds interesting, doesn't it? Metabolism. I guess metabolism is, if I was going to give you a very quick definition of metabolism, is it's the rate at which your body does stuff, the rate at which your body burns fat, the rate at which your body creates energy. You want a metabolism that's burning, okay? And if you want a strong metabolism, you need to eat. The best analogy I can give you for metabolism is a fire. So if you've ever been camping, and if you've ever camped in cold weather, you get out of your tent and I'm guessing you don't wait too long until you start a fire. And I'm also guessing that once the fire started, you put fuel on it regularly. Is that a reasonable statement? And I'm guessing you don't wait for the fire to die down before you put fuel on. You put fuel on the fire while it's still burning strong. Got it? So imagine your body, your metabolism is that fire. You need to get up and you need to start it as quickly as possible. Well, how do you do that? That's breakfast, starts the fire. You need to put fuel on it regularly. How regularly? I suggest every 60 to 90 minutes. And I also recommend you put each meal and snack has got some protein in it, and I'll explain why in a second. And you regularly putting fuel on your fire, not waiting till you're hungry, okay? Eat before you're hungry, drink before you're thirsty. Why? Because you don't want your fire to go out before you put fuel on it, okay? If you're hungry, it's too late. If you're thirsty, too late. Just small amounts of food on the fire, the metabolism is burning, you're burning fat, your energy is good, your focus is good, everything's better, you're feeling better about yourself. You're setting an example for your family. You're achieving more in your life because you've got energy, you're not craving. The importance of protein. Now, the protein could be meat or fish. It could be, there's some protein bars. It could be some nuts. It could be yogurt. There's so many amazing sources of protein. Why is protein important? Because it will slow the release of sugar. So if you just have a piece of fruit on its own, or if you just have toast and jam for breakfast, it's really like throwing paper on the fire. Your blood sugars are going to rise rapidly and they're going to drop quickly, okay? So if you put paper on the fruit, the same. It's just sugar. Fire up, and it's going to throw around your whole energy levels, your blood sugar levels, by adding protein. So putting an egg on that toast rather than jam. If you're going to have a snack, if you're going to snack with some fruit, have it with some yogurt. You know, don't have crackers or biscuits by themselves. That's just sugar. Put some cheese on a cracker. Get some dip with a cracker. Have some carrot sticks and celery with some cheese. There are amazing protein bars that you can get your hands on that are wonderful snacks you can throw in your pocket, your handbag, and they're there and you're ready to snack every 60 to 90 minutes. You want to keep it. You want to be organized with this. It's simple once you create the routine. And again, the results of looking after your metabolism are amazing, okay? I'm sure that's raised a lot of questions, and I'm more than happy to answer those questions. So if you've got questions, type them in. Yeah, okay. We're up to number 9, and that's looking after our gut health. It's interesting that about 70% of your immune system is actually in your gut. There's trillions of cells in your body. There's probably about 4 or 5 times more bacteria in your gut. Hippocrates, who is a ancient philosopher, nutritionist, doctor, made a statement back before Christ, said that all disease starts in the gut. All disease starts in the gut, which means that if all disease starts in the gut, then all healing also starts in the gut. So how do we look after our gut? Everything that I've already spoken about, because stress will affect your gut health. The way you eat will affect your gut health. Processed foods will affect your gut health. Natural foods will improve your gut health. Adding probiotic foods, adding fermented foods are great things that you can do to increase and improve your gut health. And everything everything starts in your gut. So incredibly important to start doing some things that will improve your gut health. Now, what you'll find is a lot of the things I've spoken about, certainly the nutritional parts of this talk, they all feed each other. You eat well, eat the right foods, omega-3s, you're going to get healthy cells. It's also going to improve your gut health. You eat fruits, lots of fruits and vegetables. It's going to deal with giving your body the nutrients. It's going to deal with free radicals, and cortisol. It's also going to help with your gut health. It's also going to help with your cell membrane and your energy. Can you see how it all just feeds each other? You don't have to do a million things. You've got to do a few things consistently. And all of these issues, all these essentials, you're ticking boxes, feeling better. Okay, the last thing, the one that I haven't spoken about yet, is obviously move your body. And simple, right? Like, exercise is not hard. We all know we need to do it. And the question I would ask you is, are you doing it every day? When I say every day, are you moving? Now, moving doesn't mean you go to the gym. Moving doesn't mean you do 1,000 chin-ups. Moving means you walk. And I would really recommend that if you're not moving, then you start with getting yourself a pedometer, a Fitbit, something that measures steps, and build yourself up to 10,000 steps a day and make that your foundation of movement. Because that, my friends, is a decision. That is a mindset. That's not a bad way to set your mind to 10,000 steps a day. Move. You know, if you're sitting on the couch and your dog's on the treadmill, you are not taking the dog for a walk. The treadmill's taking the dog for a walk. You know, there's so many ways that you can get your steps up. So people say to me, oh, 10,000 steps is a lot. No, it's only a lot if you're not focused on it. It's very simple when you're deliberate, when you're deliberate about walking upstairs rather than taking escalators. When you're on the phone, you get up out of your chair and you walk around. When you take your dog for the walk that it needs, or you go and play with your kids, getting steps is very, very easy. In addition to that, you know, there's lots you can do to build strength, to build fitness. I'm not going to go into that today. I don't have time, but find a personal trainer, find a gym, find someone who can write your program, find someone that can help you. If you're interested, I actually have a very short 15-minute workout on YouTube. I'm happy to send that to you if you would like it. I can, if you remind me, I'll send that to you, and you can send it out to your members. Move, just move. There's so many benefits of movement. In fact, I did a talk on movement recently, and there's 17 incredible benefits, from self-esteem to motivation to energy to fighting depression to heart health to cellular health to posture to it's better sleep. Now, I haven't spoken about sleep, but let me tell you this. Sleep is a consequence of get these 10 essentials right. Promise you will have no problem sleeping. Okay, so if sleep's an issue, do all these things and you will sleep. So what's the we might put the next question up, poll question up, because what I want to go into now is, I mean, everyone has tried stuff, I'm sure. You know, you've tried some sort of a diet or an eating plan or an exercise challenge or something, or thinking that willpower is the secret to this. If you wouldn't mind just filling out that poll for me and selecting one of those options. What have you tried before that hasn't given you long-term results? Let's just see what we end up with. Because I'm ready, if you're ready for long-term change. All right, so yep, dieting. I sort of expected dieting would be the thing. You know, we get sucked into diets, don't we? We get sucked into the idea of quick weight loss. The problem is a lot of diets do not deal with the maintainability, you know, because they lead to starvation, they lead to craving, they lead to, you know, crankiness. If you've ever been on a diet, like an actual calorie-restricted diet, you're not the person you want to be around, so it affects relationships, it affects concentration and productivity. It doesn't work, right? We know that. So nothing I'm talking about is a diet. Everything I'm talking about is lifestyle permanent change. And like a diet is effectively an extreme eating plan, or the, you know, if you've ever done the grapefruit diet, or the don't eat anything up until lunchtime diet, or don't eat anything after 3 o'clock diet, or whatever. It's exhausting, really, when the simplicity of optimal well-being is very intuitive, because I truly believe you know this stuff. I mean, I think there'd be very few people that would say, "Nah, well, gee, all that stuff's new to me." But it's about what do I know? It's about what am I doing? You know, extreme exercise, that's my background. You know, I played professional sport, so extreme exercise was always a thing that I got into. And it's not sustainable, because your body starts breaking down, and it's not fun, and it's painful. You know, and again, willpower is not the answer to success. So if you've ever said to yourself, "I'm not disciplined enough," or "I don't have enough willpower," it's not the answer. You don't need it. Your why power is more important than your willpower. The reason why you want to create this change is way more important. So thank you for participating. So what I want to do now is this. I've given you some ideas, 10 essentials, and you can pick one or more of those, and you can say, right, I need to do that. If you're ready for change, I'm going to just very quickly, and I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, and if you're interested, you can talk to me about it. I'm working with a program called Health Point, and have been for a long time. And it is very aligned with everything I've just spoken about. It's very aligned with everything I've written in my books. Certainly my latest book, The Wellness Puzzle. There's a lot of success with it. You know, this is not a gimmicky thing. It's actually been around a long time. You're not replacing food. You're not dieting. You're snacking regularly. You're part of a community. All the things I've spoken about. You're supported by a mentor and a positive team. It's all about the results, and it's about creating a better relationship with yourself and with food. Okay, so I want to just quickly go through it. It's a 7-week program. So I just want to very quickly go through the stages of this program so you can understand it. And if you want more information, again, please reach out to me and I will talk you through this in more detail or get you more information. But Health Point is really what it is. It packages up everything I've already spoken about. Okay, everything I've spoken about. Okay, you do preparation stage. We recommend a week. That's where you start to, you know, really focus on your purpose. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to relate this back to those 10 essentials. Okay, so this is where you start to focus on your purpose. You start to reprogram your mindset, and you will meet a community of people that will be there to support you. And that mindset and community and purpose is something that you'll develop all the way through, but it gets started in this preparation stage where you start to really do some goal setting and understand the journey and get physically, mentally, emotionally prepared. There's a jump start stage, 3 days, where if you need to lose weight, this is where you have 3 protein days that gets your body burning fat. Then for the next 25 days, it's effectively like 4 weeks of wellness adjustment. Okay, so you're getting your body and you're building habits that are going to help you burn fat, have energy, create good habits, and where you're building a new relationship with food. You then, for 14 days, which is really interesting, you're in stabilization where you actually add more food so that you can reset yourself at that place. And this is what Paul did right at the start. He did this 2 cycles of this program to lose 35 kilos, and he's kept it off for almost 3 years, which is testament to the fact that this is not a diet, this is not a quick fix, this is something that will give long-term results. And then at the end of that 6-7 weeks, you can either just take the habits you've created and live forever, or you can go back and do another cycle or 2 cycles, totally up to you. So that's Health Point in a very brief nutshell. I would love to discuss it with you more if you would like to. But throughout this, you're eating all the fruits and vegetables, you're supplementing, you're drinking purified water. So think about all the essentials I've spoken about. The foods you're going to have are going to help with your gut health. They're going to help with your cellular health. All of those key essentials I spoke about are pretty much packaged up in this wonderful, wonderful program. So, this for me is why I do what I do. I want to be the best I can be. There's no doubt about it. But I also know that the choices I make and the things that I do will have an influence on lives. And I want you to know the same thing. Every choice you make, every action you take, every word you say, everything you experience is not just affecting you. And I think a lot of people think, well, it's okay if I eat that because it's only affecting me. Yeah, but who's watching? You know, that if you smoke, and again, this is not judgment on smoking or drinking or eating whatever you eat, just know that there is a ripple effect. Everything you do will ripple. There are people, if you've got kids, they're watching, they're not listening. If you've got friends and family, they're watching. People that you associate with are watching you and they're being influenced. The question I have for you right now is, what sort of influence do you want to have on people that you care about, and then that will ripple out from there? Because everyone, if you influence one person, they're going to influence more people who are going to influence more people. And if you're that drop there right in the middle and you start that ripple, what ripple do you want to start with your family, with your community, with your town and country, with the world? And I know I have this goal of wanting to create a wave of wellness, and a wave starts with a drop in a pond that starts with a ripple. So this is powerful. If you can take this the right way and stop thinking about yourself, and start thinking about the impact your choices will have on the people you care about the most, then hopefully that's a motivator to create change. So moving forward from here, number one, if you need help, contact me, please. Number two, I would make a decision today to start on this journey. Don't wait till tomorrow or when you feel better, or, you know, a new month or whatever. Start today, because if you don't start today, you probably won't start. That's my experience. Start learning today. Start changing your mindset. Start, you know, you've got access to amazing books, and I would suggest my podcast, and I certainly would suggest, you know, my book, or books would help, but there are a lot of other amazing resources. And start today on achieving that thing that is most important to you. So you can contact me there. That's my website. There's my email address. There's my phone number. I encourage you to contact me if you would like to get a copy of my book, if you'd like to listen to my podcast, if you'd like to just have a chat, if you'd like to find out more about Health Point, please contact me. I'm here if you need me. Okay.
Thank you very much, Andrew, for this presentation. It was great. The stages of Health Point were very interesting.
Thank you. Has anyone got any questions? I can't see if there's questions.
There doesn't appear to be any questions, but as Andrew mentioned, if you do have any that come to mind after the presentation, you can email him. I'll also include his contact details as part of the email you will receive tomorrow, along with today's recording. Oh, hang on, here we go. We do have one. Can you see the question,
yes,
Andrew?
I can. Yes, Graham, absolutely. There's a lot of diabetics that have done the program, and the program can be fitted and adapted to every person with any condition. And I'm not going to make any promises about the program, but I certainly know it will enhance your experience if you're talking about yourself. But yes, absolutely can adapt to type 1 diabetic. I'm assuming that's what T1D means. So yes, thanks, Graham. Absolutely. Anyone else got any questions? You're welcome. Any other questions? A lot of, I guess I'll just finish off with one thing. I mean, a lot of our physical health challenges that we experience start with our thinking, you know, because as I said wellbeing is 100% mindset. There's an immediate effect on our body from the emotions we hold on to. There's also the choices that we make. So I really want to encourage you, whether you decide, whatever you decide to do, start putting better stuff into your head if you need to. Start finding people that can encourage and support you. Find people, listen to more webinars like this, read more books, listen to more positive stuff. I guarantee you watch the ripple effect of that on your own life. It's incredible when you start putting more positive stuff into your brain, everything sort of changes. Graham, what is your number one thing for good gut health? Well, that would be it, Graham. Interestingly, I would say what I've just said about your mindset would be the number one thing, and reducing stress in your life. Also, you know, some simple things you can do is, you know, get yourself just eating natural real foods and getting yourself a really good probiotic supplement would be the things I would suggest for gut health. Graham, thanks for asking some questions, mate. I appreciate it. It's good to know that you've got something from this. So, well, thank you so much for being part of this, guys. I hope you got some value from it, and I look forward to hearing stories, and I look forward to hearing from you if you feel like you need help in any way with your health and well-being and living your very best life. Thank you.
Thank you once again, Andrew, for obviously offering this presentation. Now, on behalf of Andrew and APPA, I'd like to thank all our participants in joining us today, and I hope you all have a great afternoon. Thanks again, Andrew.
Thanks, guys.